Rev up your engines! All right, today we have an interesting one. My son's Toyota Sienna, it's really cold out. They took the kids to school. All of a sudden, the check engine light started flashing. The traction control light came on. He said it ran okay, but it was freaking him out. So let's see what went wrong. He made it home, and I'm gonna check it out. And in this case, we're gonna kill two birds with one stone. We're trying this launch creator. It's only for Toyotas. It'll do generic for anything, but it does enhance Toyota. And for the price, if it does what they claim, it should be an interesting scan tool. We'll plug it in the OBD port. We'll plug this baby in. For usual, we turn the key on, so the ignition's on, but the car's not running. Automatically connecting. It's working pretty fast. Protocol scan. We'll do a little scan here. Now, there's no freeze frame data. All right, so that means it's not going to have any fault codes either. There's no fault codes. Yet the check engine light was flashing. We'll do a test of the onboard monitoring, and that's all okay. And as you can see, look, everything, all the monitors are okay. So, what the heck is going on with this car? As you see, we started up. Starts up perfectly fine. Now, the main thing that they told me was, it's icy. They backed up, they hit an ice patch, they heard weird noises, which is the ABS activating. Then the traction control and check engine light came on. So contraction activated caused your check engine light to come on. Well, yes, it can. Okay, there it is. Says it's got low tire pressure, so let's check it out. Now, this baby's got almost brand new tires on it, so unless it hit a nail or something, it's so cold. Today it was 17 degrees in the morning. That can make the tire pressure go too low. Trip the light, so let's check them. So we'll hook up my handy dandy Vi-Air compressor. Goes right off the battery. Positive to positive, negative to negative. You see the lights on. And we'll make sure we got about 33 PSI in every single one. This one's low, so we'll put in 33. This one's low too. They're all about the same amount of low. So, even if one isn't lower than the others, if they're all below a certain parameter, that will make your tire pressure monitoring light come on. And this one's low too. They're all about 5 pounds low because it's cold. So they're all low. Let's take it for a drive. Now you notice the tire pressure monitoring light is still on, and that's because this is an older one. This is a 2016 Toyota Sienna van. And here's how you reset the TPMS. First you fill up the tires, which you've already done. Then you turn the key so the idiot lights are on, but the car's not running. And you go under the steering wheel. And if you look under here, there's a little button over here, right? This little button is sort of TPMS reset. 1, 2, 3. Now you push the button. 1, 2, 3. You count to 3, then you let go. The car and drive it around a few minutes so it recalibrates itself. Well, that's it. After about 5 minutes driving, the light's off and the system is fixed. Your traction control light or tire pressure monitoring system, if those lights come on, they can indeed make your check engine light flash in a Toyota Sienna. Software, stuff like that. So him hitting the ice, the traction control acted up a bunch. A lot of times if the traction control comes on, the light will come on. Later when he drove it here, the light was off, and as you can see, there were no codes stored, so the flashing check engine light wasn't tell you there was a problem in the engine management system. It's just as a squirrely thing that the software of when the ABS acts up and the tire pressure monitoring system lights out, it makes the check engine light flash on and off. And in this case, there was nothing wrong with the car. He could have driven it forever. Normally you see that check engine light flashing, it means something serious. My son called me up and said, "Oh, it's flashing." I said, "Is it running okay?" He said, "Sure." I said, "It's cold." And in this case, that's exactly what did it. So if that ever happens to you, fill your tires with air. Then the TPMS light will come on, and the interaction of the TPMS and the traction control when it activates on the ice won't make your check engine light flash, because the TPMS system will show that it's working okay. it was showing that the tires were low because they were. Now, most people would think that couldn't happen, but in this case, it did happen. So it tells you, make sure you fill your tires with air when it gets really cold outside, because otherwise your stupid TPM system will come on, your check engine might come flashing on, and it might scare the heck out of you when the only thing wrong is your tires are low. Hey, it was 16 degrees this morning. Now you've learned something, so people can't rip you off. And if you own a Toyota product, you want to try out this launch Creator Elite for Toyotas. It's only for Toyotas. Like I say, it does generic for the rest, but it does a lot of stuff for a Toyota. Hey, keep it in your car so you don't get ripped off. If you're worried, oh, the light's flashing, you plug it in, and you would have seen there are no codes, there are no problems. The only problem was the tire pressure was low. So these things can save you not only headaches of worrying, but an awful lot of money, because if you take your car to a garage, they're not going to be like me most of the time and say, look, there's nothing wrong, but your tire pressure's low. They'll probably try to charge you for $1,000 worth of work and then just fill the tires with air. And here's some bonus questions and answers. Well, there's a new brand of cars being sold in the United States called the Cupra, C-U-P-R-A. Well, one, I think the name's stupid. Cupra. Wow, what a stupid name, right? Well, what it is, the Spanish manufacturer Seat, S-E-A-T, which got bought out by Volkswagen quite some time ago. They made cars in Spain. And then Volkswagen sells them all over Europe. They're called Seats, S-E-A-T, right? Well, they decided, we're going to branch out at Seat, and we're going to now have our own brand called Cupra. Kind of like Lexus and Toyota, Acura and Honda, Ram and Chrysler. Now, Ram was originally Dodge Ram, then it's just Ram its own. Well, they decided we're going to sell these Cupras. Volkswagen's doing anything to try to get out of the doldrums, right? So they're going to bring these to the United States. They sell them in Europe, but they're going to bring them in the United States. Now, of course, originally they said, we're only going to sell Cupras as electric cars, right? Well, they gave up with that idea. Said, no. We're going to have gasolines. We're going to have hybrids, too. We're not going to have just electric cars, because they're finding out people don't want to buy the stupid things. Now, Cupra was started in 2018, so they've been around for 6 years. They branched off from Seat. It's still a company owned by Volkswagen. Realize that. And, of course, what are Cupras? In Europe, they're mainly an assortment of, guess what? SUVs. They call them crossovers. I mean, whatever you call them. They're SUVs. Or like BMW. They don't like SUV. They have SAVs, sports activity vehicles. They look exactly the same, but they can't call them SUVs because the plebeians called them SUVs. Ours are SAVs. Ours are sports activity vehicles. They're not utilitarian. Well, at least they got to give BMW kudos on that, because they're not utilitarian vehicles because they break down all the time. So they're not very utilitarian. In that case, the name fits. They're activity until the activity breaks down, and they certainly aren't utilitarian. In this case, the Cupra, when they bring it to the United States, you know what I predict? I predict when they do, it'll be a massive failure. It's just another Volkswagen, blah. And if they are all SUVs and crossovers, just another crossover in a market that's totally saturated with crossovers. And knowing that Cupra is a Spanish-based company, stuff made in Spain isn't the greatest in the world either, so... But in the future, if you see a Cupra out there, now at least you'll know what it is, where it came from, and probably why not to buy it in the first place. Well, a Las Vegas garage fire kills 6 cats and causes $100,000 of damage. Well, guess what started the fire? Could it be a Tesla? Of course, it was a Tesla electric vehicle. On Sunday, in the Las Vegas Valley, a car caught on fire in a garage, killed 6 cats and an estimated loss of $100,000. The neighbor said they heard a boom. The doors of the Tesla blew out, caused all that damage. It took 33 firefighters to come and hose it down with water until it finally died down. The man says, I saw the garage. I ran back to my house, called 911. People made a mad dash to get their cars out of the way. They knew enough about electric cars that hot enough to burn their cars down, so everybody moved out of the way. Of course, they're investigating it. You know, it takes a long time to figure out what actually happened. But the neighbor says it seems to have been an explosion of the battery. I looked and the doors of the Tesla were completely blown off. Now, they say the cause of the fire is under investigation, but come on, it's in the Tesla. And it blew up, started on fire. I wouldn't have one of those things near me. Let me tell you, I worked on one the other day, and I took a chance plugging it in to my 220-volt level 2 charger to charge it up for the guy, to be nice to him. But, hey, even then I'm wondering, hey, it's close to this tree, close to the garage, it could start a big fire. Hey, I certainly want to own a ticking time bomb put inside my garage at night. I'll tell you that. And the 6 cats would certainly agree, too. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.